Welcome everybody to Fade to Obsidian, your Red Rising podcast about spaceships and relationships. I am Skipper, joined as always by Crescent, and joined this week by returning guest Sharkbate. Welcome, Sharkbate. Now, full disclosure, when we originally recorded this, we actually lost the first couple of minutes of audio and had to re-record. So if it looks like right now, if you're watching on YouTube and they're like inappropriately interacting, that's why is I am recording this over their reactions. After a couple of minutes, it will get on to how our normal format will look, and it'll look way better. Now, if you're listening, you may not have noticed a difference, so we'll see. But we are finally moving on from our artist series and are excited to launch back directly into the books. So this episode is starting our reread along, but this time looking at all the deaths in Red Rising and their impact on the story, which of course would be because of the relationships they had with our characters. See what I did there? I'm calling this series Bye Felicia. This week's episode will focus on Io, the first and most impactful death of the series. It may contain spoilers all the way up to the end of Lightbringer. So if you haven't finished Lightbringer, go do that and then return to us. All right, without further ado, welcome back to the podcast, Cassie from Highkey Obsessed, aka Sharkbate. Thank you for joining us on the first and biggest death of the series, Io. You've been on Fade previously, always in a larger group, either with podcasts on podcasting or the Women's Day episode. So my question for you today, it was, what are you drinking? But quite frankly, I forgot to re-ask her that. So what are your feelings towards Io?
Okay, hi, hello. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My thoughts on Io are, I'd say, complicated, but they're not even really that complicated. They're just different, I think, than a lot of people that you hear talking about her. Io gets a lot of hate. And I think that, well, I understood that hate, I think, more when I was a little younger and when I hadn't read it quite as many times. But the older I get and the more I read it, the more I remember that she's 16, for starters. And while that is not as young as 16 is to us in our society, it still is quite young. And she believes that what she's doing is a sacrifice, that she's sacrificing her life and her future and her happiness. You know, it's not like she wants to leave Darrow. It's not like she wants to manipulate Darrow. She's trying to inspire and incite rebellion to free her people. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I've talked about this before in the context of, you know, current events, but the, you know, rebellions and change, I'll just put it this way, change doesn't happen without someone standing up and making a sacrifice and making a noise. You know, she technically what she did is peaceful protest. I mean, it's not even technically. What she did is peaceful protest, and she was killed because of it. And I think that makes someone a hero and not a villain. You know, I think a lot of people are, especially when we get into book 2, they're like, oh, you know, she's not just sacrificing herself. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. It's still her body, her life, her choice. And how Darrow reacts to all of it, what Darrow decides to do after she dies and after he finds out the news in Golden Sun, those are on him. Those aren't on her. His decisions and his responses. We're not going to blame the woman for the way a man decides to react to her decisions. So that is my I guess, a nutshell of my feelings on EO, but I like her. I think she is a great character.
Yeah, so for me, it's interesting of every time I reread this, I have a different point of view on EO. When I first read this series, I did not like her. I know when we did our read through the first time around, I talked a lot about this, that I was getting actually a lot of hate from my point of views of EO, and it took until that read through to kind of understand her. I think it's a case of me growing up as well as the world around us that at the time I didn't agree with what she did, uh, but I've learned that like her death and everything she did is for a reason, that you do in fact need martyrs in this world. Um, and that was something that I don't think I really necessarily thought of way back in 2015. It's a different point of view than I have now.
Yeah, so I never was anti EO.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story doesn't exist without her sacrifice. Um, we see in Sons of Ares, like she sees the Sons of Ares logo.
Yeah.
Like she, I think she's more informed than the rest of the miners.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, Darrow is, he's like, oh, I'm a pioneer. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess. And EO's like, no, you're not.
I think she's just more
Um,
like skeptical. I don't know if skeptical is the word. Like informed doesn't really feel right because like she
Yeah.
still doesn't know, right? She doesn't know how
yeah,
bad it really is,
I
but
suppose true.
like they all know about the Sons of Ares. They just like
Hmm.
she agrees with what they're doing, whereas Darrow thinks they're like rabble rousers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I don't know. And yeah, she goes into giving her life with eyes wide open, essentially. Like, and I feel like
Yeah.
you kind of have to. Um, it's not really a
Mm-hmm.
decision you make without knowing what's happening. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I like EO as a character. Um, she gets mythologized a lot
Mm-hmm.
in the series, less in real life, but
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I also dislike the argument that people have that she's selfish.
mhm.
It's like I can't think of anything less selfish. She's not going to
100%.
benefit.
Yeah.
She doesn't get anything out of this act. She's doing it purely for literally everyone
Yeah.
in her township. Like to her, she's doing it for them, um, for all Reds. In her mind, it is just literally nothing less selfish than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a Darrow centric uh argument for people to have. It's just like,
Hmm.
what do you mean she's selfish?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, and it's interesting. So what I've written here of the like, it's been going around recently. The like, what radicalized you? And for EO, it's literally everything. Like we're talking about her being the first death, but the first death we actually hear about is Darrow's father, who actually died
Hmm.
under almost similar circumstances. Like he also
Yep.
took a stand at the gallows, or which led him to the gallows. And then we know that like that alone, we see Io is who put a Hemanthus in his boots. So like we know that she has been around for at least that. Who knows what else? But that's the first death we
Hmm.
actually hear about, and like the impact that that has on Io versus Darrow, where Io knows something needs to be done, and I think Darrow is just in this like, well, you know, it is what it is kind of a thing. And we see that he still is convinced he can win the laurel rather than Io's like, you're a fucking idiot. We're never winning the laurel. Like, and so I think it's that little difference of like what radicalized you. It's like Io's like, I realized growing up that we were mistreated rather than Darrow's like, yeah, we are, but like, meh.
Yeah,
How
but it's not
how
that bad for me, so
Yeah.
so that's how political am I allowed to get? on this.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So, Darrow, right? 16-year-old Darrow in the mines, when he and Io are having this conversation in the garden, is a study in privilege.
Mm. Yep.
The low reds are the lowest of the low in society, right? And yet so it's not as bad for Darrow as it might be for others. Like, or he's accepted that, like, he, as a hell diver, as like a young guy, has like more ability, more privilege, more potential than maybe the young women in red society or the old people in red society, in low red society. So like his his he's so angry at his dad for leaving him, and like that's the thing. He's like, well, how is it better that my dad died for, the right of it, versus staying and like being a father to me, like, sad me, poor Darrow. All he can think about is like he's not recognizing that, like, he's okay with things the way they are because they're okay for him.
Yeah.
They suck. They absolutely suck. But they're okay for him. It's the same thing as like all these little incel ice supporting white boys who aren't benefiting at all from the system that we currently have, but are supportive of it because it's just not that bad for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're not trying to move up. They're
Yeah.
just trying to kick down.
And Io is like all of us millennial women who have been screaming and protesting for 20 fucking years and are tired of protesting and we want to fight someone.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yep.
fair.
Yep. Absolutely. No, I think you nail the head, or oh my gosh, what's the saying? Whatever, you nailed it right on the head.
Hit the nail on the head.
It's too early for
It's
this.
early, guys.
I was gonna say, not only is it early, but you're drinking whiskey.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Absolutely. I think because even then, like, as you say it, like, Darrow talks about how Io skips meals and he knows that she's doing that so he can feed, and he's like, oh,
She's
and,
going
like,
to like blow the grays to get him medicine. Like, are you kidding?
Like, and he's like, oh, isn't that a good wife?
Oh, it's
And
not that
like,
bad though.
yeah. Yeah. I know. And I think also looking back at like how we know also when we introduced Teleria that like that true red lifestyle, you also see that might also be where it comes back to. You look at Io and you go, oh yeah, like, and Lyria in theory was quote unquote free, like at the end of her life. That, like, I think that also reflects there that we really get the insight that once you stop paying attention to what Darrow's saying and what the story is actually telling you, there is a different view there.
Yep. There's a lot of that. I mean, throughout the series, like the nice thing about the later books is that we get other perspectives, but we, as human beings who are not Darrow, should be able, like, we're intelligent people, we should be able to read the book and recognize that, like, this is told from his perspective and it's not necessarily 100% like this is what really is happening, right? Like, I'm sure you'll talk about it when you get to Titus, right? Like, that like this perspective of a 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy is not, hard, true fact. It is his reactions and thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Classic unreliable narrator.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's no one less reliable than Darrow.
If it's not happening to
What do you
his
mean you
hands-
think your best friend is dead?
Yeah.
By the way, you just said his hand. You should know that all the green tabs on here are his mentions of his dexterity.
Oh my god.
I want to say, I don't think I wrote it. Let me see if I wrote it down here. Yeah, green is hands, yellow is LOL, and blue is just a good quote. So green, I think there's like 27 mentions of his hands just in book one, and it's what, like 300 pages.
Yeah.
I just think
yeah,
that's hilarious.
It's the most important thing in the entire book.
It goes down in every book. His mentions of his hands goes down. That's growth. That's growth.
Yes, he's finally
Surprisingly.
Well, and also we get more POVs that aren't just,
Uh-huh.
I don't think Ephraim's talking about his hands.
Yeah.
Lysander might be. Lysander probably is
Lysander
mentioning
definitely would.
that. Ephraim,
They're
though,
so
is like, does
they're so
Darrow have
dexterous.
hands? Like,
Just
so,
terrible.
like Ephraim's over here being like, fuck that guy. Oh, that's great.
Mustang would probably talk about his hands.
Mustang probably does.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be one reference, in there somewhere. I love
Anywho.
it. Anywho, um, but yeah, I think it's a huge, why she does it. But something that you brought up on our Women's Day episode was about EO and like her agency and people being upset that people think that she's, to use the term, fridged. So, do you want to
Yeah.
comment on like your opinions on that one?
Yeah, and I was talking to my husband about this last night a little bit, and I also did ask him. He's read the first book; he hasn't read any of the others. Much to my chagrin, I don't want to talk about it. He and I asked him. I was like, "Do you remember like what you thought about her when you first read it?" And he was like, "I don't know. I think she annoyed me, but whatever." Um, we were talking about fridging, and I went back again and I like reread the definition of fridging because I was like, I also think that people misuse that word.
Yeah.
Right, like fridging is specifically about the violence and suffering of women characters to further a male character's storyline. Which, like, I think it is fair to ask that question about EO. I don't believe that that is the case here
Yeah.
because that, like you said, like I guess I said that I don't remember, it does take away the agency of the character to just say, oh, because she suffered and died and was killed, and that was a motivating factor for the protagonist, that it is fridging. Like, it is not fridging on its own just because that is what happened, right? There's other things that go into it. And like we get that, like every time I reread it, you get such depth of like emotion and like the fact that she feels so strongly about this stuff. Like this isn't something that is happening to her. It's something that she chose. And now again, fridging is complicated because she chose it because Pierce chose it for her, right? Like so it is complicated and I think it's a fair question and conversation. I don't necessarily think I feel quite as strongly as I did that like no, it's definitely not fridging when we talked about it before. It's definitely not like I right, we also talked about the Bechdel test. And that like I think these books do pass that in general. But for fridging, I think if you feel really strongly that it is, like I think it's fair. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I don't feel that it is because like I said, she chose this and I think that that takes away a lot of the just because she's on page for such a short amount of time doesn't mean that there's not a real depth of character and like there's stuff behind it. It's not just she dies, Darrow does something.
Absolutely. Well, and I think a huge thing of that is also Darrow's actions after it is not actually to take up her flame. He just wants to kill himself. He is actually who's
Right.
forced into
Yep.
things. Like he's not the one who suddenly is like, "Oh, my wife died. Let me avenge her." In the way of I always think of like John Wick and the dog, right? It's not like a like you've killed my
Right.
dog. I have to. He's like, "Oh, my wife's dead. Well, I'm gonna go do something illegal that'll get me killed." And then it's that everyone else, like, then it's Meryl and Dancer, are like, no, bud, we have plans for you. Like,
Right.
he's almost forced into that. And even then we see of, like, her being used even as propaganda is not Darrow's doing. It's the Sons of Ares and, the like, society at the same time are using for and against her to the point of, like, her song is going everywhere. Her lines of break the chains and live for more are everywhere. And it's not Darrow's doing. Darrow doesn't bring her up publicly. Obviously, he's thinking about her constantly, but he doesn't bring up that he even has this wife, I think, until probably, well, I don't even know when he verbalizes that EO is his.
Right. I don't know about that either. And I think like to be fair, fridging isn't necessarily about what the characters are doing so much as
Right.
what the author has done, right? So like that's why it's complicated.
Yeah.
And that's why I have like kind of a wishy-washy answer to that
Yeah.
question. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, it all comes back to like, is that her only purpose?
Mm.
Is her only purpose in the story to motivate Darrow's journey? And to me, the answer is no, because I recognize a lot of like especially this is an overshare possibly, but like my husband like is very much like 16-year-old Darrow, and I'm very much like 16-year-old EO. Like I'm always like, yeah, politics, why don't you care more? And he's like, like it's fine, stop yelling
Yeah.
at me. So like I personally don't think that like EO only exists to, and her suffering is
Mhm.
only to motivate Darrow
Absolutely.
from Pierce's perspective, but who knows?
Yep.
We're not Pierce, we can never know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Crescent? I'm curious as a man.
Um, honestly, I agree with you. Like, yes, she does exist to motivate Darrow in a small microcosm, but also she exists to motivate all of Red kind. Like,
Yeah.
they're broadcasting her image throughout the entire series, more so in the first trilogy, but
Mhm.
she stays as this mythical figure
Yep.
essentially. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at being eloquent on camera. I just drink and know things.
It's so good we gave
Um,
you a podcast.
yeah.
Oh, I don't have my coaster up here. I have a I drink and I know things coaster. I was looking for it.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you guys nail it. Like I'm here to be like the fact checker. It's like actually like that only happened 3 times.
Yeah.
Um
Which
but
we
yeah,
will
no,
You're gonna
do
go
in
back and
some
count
ways.
the hand references, be like, Cassie, you were wrong.
Oh, he can.
It's
They
I
22
mean
times.
he uses ebooks,
his
so
men yeah,
you can.
Mm-hmm.
that's my secret is that I'm just
Yeah.
really good at remembering key phrases.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is kind of, I remember when I tabbed, it wasn't like every hand mention. It was specifically how great his hands are.
Mhm.
Yes. It can't just be like I
Yep.
touched something. My hand was nicked. It has to be a like ridiculous reason to bring it up.
Yep.
So I'm gonna just derail us completely. But
Yeah.
so Ray reads and Carla are two. So like Lit in the City is a new Instagram, TikTok account, and they're doing like Fable read-alongs, and they're doing Red Rising. And I was reading the comments. I like joined it just so that I could literally interact with everyone and like read all their reactions. I'm not even rereading right now. But I remember it was like around chapter 3 or 4. I was like, man, this bro really likes his hands.
Yep.
Reading the book, I was like, well spotted. You are correct.
Yes. Indeed. I love it. Well, I mean, to not veer us slightly back, but at the same time, I asked Crescent to do research ahead of this. Crescent, do you have? I have the data pulled up if you don't have it. I asked
I
him,
mean, I can get it pretty quickly.
it's in our chat there. I asked
Yeah.
him how many mentions of EO's name pre death and post death across all the books. Because I feel like that for her is a huge, like, that's how we're talking about her impact on the story, which is obviously
Yeah.
causing the story, but also
Mhm.
just like she could cause it and be dropped. And then everyone's like, oh, who? What?
Right.
All
Mhm.
right. So, Crescent, what are those
So,
facts?
uh, so in Red Rising, her name is used 186 times, 79 of which are before her death, and 107 of after. So, arguably, she is less spoken about in the latter half of the book,
Page count.
like per
Yeah.
page. Yeah, like it's less dense
Yeah.
of EO, and I mean, obviously, like there's character attribution used.
Yeah, she dies on page
In the-
45.
Dies on page
Yeah.
45.
So that's what
Yep.
more than 70 references in more than 70 mentions of her name in 45 pages
Mhm.
versus 100 and some in 300 pages.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I
then
think that
over
speaks
the
for itself.
Yeah.
course of the entire series post death, I have 319 post death.
Yeah. So it drops in every book.
Didn't we realize
except for
But
Iron
not
Gold?
so
Except for-
significantly.
Yeah.
But like I was gonna say, like, but not so significantly that she is only motivating for Darrow, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would lend itself if it was just like yes, she's spoken about less afterwards, but like not so much less that it's like she's dead, she's not on page, she's not having, so there's no EO says, there's no, I'd be
Yeah.
interested to know those numbers if you take out when she's speaking.
Oh yeah.
So like if you take out EO said, EO did, like, and if it's just
Mhm.
his thinking of her,
Yep.
I'd be interested to see how those even out pre and post death, because like that to me would be an even stronger indicator that like against the claims of fridging,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
like she's still a strong character throughout the books even after she's dead,
Absolutely.
even after she's like served her purpose.
Well,
Mhm.
and the other thing that I was thinking of today, so you did not have time to look this up, is the two probably most epic lines of the series. Live for more and break the chains are EO quotes. And so how often are those being said in, like, so we talked about there's a drop off in Iron Gold and Dark Age, and then it kind of actually when we did the breakdown,
Back up
looped
for
back up
Lightbringer.
through Lightbringer, which I think is because we get more
Makes
of
sense.
Darrow being introspective and looking back on everything. But live for more and break the chains are not. Darrow's not the one using those most of the time. Even Mustang uses them. Dancer, obviously, like we
Right.
get them all across. One like so those would be interesting ones to look up as well. Of when is she being quoted, but not it's not being attributed to her because her spirit's still going on. And even at this point, like the song of like Persephone, so many people end up calling her Persephone instead of Io. Like all of that as well, that we see that. I mean, we see Mustang sings the song of Persephone when she doesn't know that that's Darrow's wife. Like, and there's just that giant impact across the whole series of kind of the spirit of EO goes on and on as as we carry on.
I
Maybe
mean, there's
love
straight
that.
up
the red god.
there's
EO's
there's straight up a
spirit.
ship called the Spirit of EO.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even remember that. Look at us talking about spaceships. We bring it back around every once in a while.
We got there.
Sometimes we remember that this podcast has spaceships involved. Yeah, like there's so much of who she becomes as this kind of symbol, rather than just her, her personally, which is I think great. That she has that her sacrifice.
I think she would be happy
I
with
think she
that.
would be happy too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I the other thing I was gonna just touch on. This is jumping back, but with her agency is something I picked up this read through and never before is that Darrow knows she's gonna sing the song. So we're looping all the way back. I've never picked up on that he looks at her and is like, don't do it. Like, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. And she does it anyway, which I think speaks huge to what type of a person she is. That her, everyone knows, like, she's going to be the one who does this. Anyway, I just am reading through my notes that we had kind of missed that.
Yeah, he like literally like mangles his teeth around around the stone in his mouth to like try and get her to stop.
Yeah.
And I love the line where he says, I have lost her. She becomes something more important. And she was right. I do not understand.
Yeah.
And then like there's another one where as she's singing, he says, in the face of cold power, she is fire.
Ooh.
And I like hadn't caught that previously. I underlined it last night. I was like, oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Cold power. Just definitely how I would describe Nero.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
Honestly, like most of gold.
Right.
Yeah,
Gold is a cold metal, darling.
Ooh.
it's true.
When are we getting that on merch? I like that.
That should... A necklace?
Necklace. Write this down.
Necklace?
Audiences.
Molly!
Molly!
Yeah,
Emily, Molly, do it!
Write it down.
you have an idea.
There's a lot of, like, Lilith and Antonia actually have some, like, good quotes sometimes in the first book, particularly.
So I think we've covered most, and we can pick other stuff up. The last giant impact that I think EO has on this series as a whole is Pierce's dog being named EO. I think we need to bring this up. Pierce did not name his own dog. If people are unaware, his friends found EO on the street, and he was only supposed to be like fostering her for a bit, and so they named the dog EO. Which is why it's not Sophocles or something, it's EO. But I think that's just important as a whole for the fandom of like Pierce's dog being EO.
So Pierce foster failed.
Absolute foster fail.
I would foster fail that dog too. She is...
instantly.
I said this the last time I was on this podcast because apparently we always talk about this dog, but
We need to.
she is perfect. I'm upset. Like, so also my cat Cricket, the second one that passed away, she looks like a little foxy. And so I love that EO looks like a fox. Like any animal, dog or cat that like has that fox-like face, I'm immediately like, yes, I love you.
Absolutely. It's just the most adorable. I always remember when we did the Glittering Gala and people had bingo cards, and one of the bingo cards was, because we recorded live, was EO appearance, and then a different one was somebody wears a bow tie because we were all dressed up and none of us were wearing bow ties, and then like he talked off to the screen camera and we were like, is EO there? And he's like, yeah, you want to see EO? And we're like, yeah. And he picks her up and she's
Obviously.
wearing a bow tie,
And she's wearing a bow tie.
Chat went crazy that they were like, EO mention and the bow tie. Yeah.
I love that. She's just so fucking cute. He doesn't ever post on it anymore, but I do follow her Instagram account.
Yes. Yep. I love it. I love it so much.
Like, I don't care about, I mean, obviously, Pierce is great, but that dog,
I know.
that dog is, I would kidnap her. That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would dog nap.
Yep.
I do agree. That's a very important
It's
impact
very
of
important
EO's
impact
death.
of
Yeah.
EO is
Wait, how old is dog EO? I don't know why I kind of assumed that the character was
10
named
now?
after the dog.
No. Dog EO showed up between Morningstar and Iron Gold, I want to say. It was in that gap that Dog EO showed up.
No way. Really?
Yeah, maybe even between Iron Gold and Dark Age. Dog EO is not.
No.
No, so then between Morningstar and definitely be after Morningstar.
There's no way. Because I first read the books in 2016 after Morningstar came out. So like, and I'm pretty sure
the dog was there.
He already had her.
So then it's right after Morningstar because he was on tour and he did not have a dog.
I could be wrong. It's been so long.
I know.
I'm just gonna be a real psycho and go look real quick.
How dare you remind us of how long it's been?
You want to? Well, I'm an absolute stalker. You know what friend is who actually found EO? Tamara, who will eventually be killed.
You are a stalker.
I know my things. Yeah, Tamara, who I believe is the only friend who gets killed in these books, is who actually found EO and a sister. There was 2 dogs that she found running the streets of LA and dropped one on Pierce and was like, here you go, you have a dog now, and I've named it EO. So, yeah.
Okay, so he created the Foxy Beans account in 2017, but like he already had her.
Yes.
Look at her puppy face.
She's so
Oh my
adorable.
goodness. Oh my god, look at her ears.
Her ears are
Her
huge.
ears.
When she first arrived on the scene. Yeah, her ears are, she grew into.
I'm sorry, I'm just completely in love.
Listen, we have to have a little bit of light in all the death that we are going to be discussing on this.
Exactly.
So we gotta bring up that.
Exactly. She's
Yeah.
so cute. Anywho, all right.
Anywho, back somewhat on track. Another to talk just general about death, as I brought it up, is I made Crescent do more research. Crescent, can you tell me in the entire series how many times the word death is used? It's in our chat if you don't have it fresh. Just
Let
the
me
word
find it.
death.
Oh, this is gonna be
Where did
really
you
a
put it?
lot.
Where did you put it? Did you pin it? Oh god.
I probably no, but it won't be up that high.
Just Control F.
Okay,
Death.
sorry. Death in the entire series
Death.
is 612.
That's actually not as much as I thought it would be.
Okay, but dead. How often is the
Yeah,
word
dead
dead used?
adds a whole 828.
And
Now that's
finally,
And
kill.
kill adds 1,640.
Yep. Yep.
that
I
tracks.
see you
Okay, so
padding that word count, Pierce.
combined, we're over $2,000, right?
Oh
Two
yeah.
grand, 2,000.
Almost.
Oh,
That's almost
3,000.
3,000.
More than 3,000.
Mm-mm.
It's just over 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Math.
Because, yeah. 16 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3,
Right.
like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually 3,080.
There you go. Crazy.
But I mean, 6 books.
$6.
And Dark Age is a honkin' big book
It is a
of death.
honkin' book. Yeah.
I do want to know how much of that is just Dark Age.
It is.
He broke it down for that.
Yes.
Where is it? No.
It's in that same chat. I was going to
Dark
say, scroll up.
Age. Yeah. Yeah. Kill is 367. Dead is 228. And death is 141.
So a quarter
I
of
mean,
dead is in Dark Age.
more than a quarter.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it like 300 and some? Where's the total mentions of death?
Dead was 800. Oh, death was 600.
Yeah. Dead is 828. Death is 612.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes.
So a quarter in Dark Age, though, over 6 books. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not as heavy of a tilt as I thought it would be, to be perfectly honest, because that book is fucking brutal.
It is.
Absolutely. If people want us to do more research, I say this as if people are going to hear this before we start recording the next one, which is not true. But in future ones, if you guys are like, hey, give us
some new
stats
stats
on this,
Yeah.
we'll bring them up. I think we should have Live for More. We'll touch on next week. We're recording with Maud from Maud's Book Club, Maud Garrett, the amazing, because we're going to be doing Julian, and she is Cassius's wife, and so we figured Julian's impact on Cassius is the biggest thing. So we're going to have her on. So we've already looked up how many mentions of Julian, but if people have, or I guess you, Sharkbate, if you want us to look up other things, we can stick it in that. And if people are listening to this when we're recording, probably you'll hear this when we're recording Sons of Aries, Golden Sun, and Morning Star, and Forever, and we'll add more stats in. I feel like
I love stats. That's so fun.
Julian's
gonna be cool.
Julian is cool. Of like, yeah, his impact is
really far-reaching too.
Yes.
I'm very excited to hear that one. That'll be really cool. Because, like, I mean, yeah, all the way through to Lightbringer.
Yeah.
There's impacts. So that'll be cool. Like what his mention count is. His mention count before death is going to be really low compared to his after death count.
Yeah. Well,
even if it's not just by name, but like Cassie's brother, like twin, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. We already have that pulled,
Anyways.
but we'll give it next
Save
week.
that for the episode.
No spoilers.
Yes, obviously.
But yeah, it'll be really interesting, this whole series as we go through. We are trying to get the most amount of people out to talk with us about it. And we are going to have, so obviously some characters get full episodes, but when we get into especially Dark Age, it's impossible. So we will have the lovely Harvest is going to come on and do large episodes at the end of each book to cover all of those like in between characters, and some of them will be slightly major, but not like. Sorry, Leah, you don't get your own episode. But also like
Right.
those characters that do have an impact but not as big, and as well as the really tiny characters. For example, again, this is full spoilers. We didn't really talk about Lightbringer in this, but I'm gonna say it. Of like the small characters, like the EMP girl in, is it Golden Sun when they're doing the Iron Rain? Someone brought up the green that I think is in. Is it in Dark Age? Is drinking
Iron
the
Gold.
Iron
Oh,
Gold, and
just
gives the
kidding.
cracks.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
No, sorry. I'm
that's
thinking of
Lightbringer.
that's Lightbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk
Lightbringer will
about
have
when
a lot
Lysander's
of those.
being a bug.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we are going to touch on every character we can. If you're listening and you have opinions, especially on Dark Age, and you want to come on, give me a hit.
Yeah,
because
we're gonna have
there's so
17
many
episodes for Dark Age.
Iron Gold is going to be the shortest amount. There is the least amount of major deaths in Iron Gold than, I mean, maybe Red Rising probably actually takes it, but between Red Rising and Iron Gold, there is almost nothing. And then we go into Dark Age and we get everybody. So it'll be
Here,
interesting.
take this pile of deaths.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting.
Well, wait, hang on. So there's 3 in Red Rising, right?
3 major, we're calling it, because packs, and then we'll get the one after, like Harvest will cover Titus, the students of House
Titus
Pluto.
4. Oh wait, so Titus won't get his own. I guess that makes sense.
No.
There's
Yeah,
really
because he'll probably take up the most amount of that other one, because then it's like the students like the poor cannibalized students, and
poor Pluto.
One of the Proctors guys, right? But yeah,
actually.
Apollo. So that one will be, and then Golden Sun's going to be interesting. That the last chapter is going to have to be broken down into having at least Lorne and Fitchner, and we're deciding whether or not Nero needs his own, or if Nero can share with maybe like Quinn and do the two of them of just a 50-50, and because they're slightly bigger than the rest. We're going to have this all solved at some point. But yeah, if people want to come on or give us your thoughts, always send them to
Cardus.
Yep, Cardus. There's so much. It's gonna be crazy.
We should stop. We're just naming all the deaths now. But I'm sorry. I was so 3 major in Red Rising. I'm thinking of Iron Gold. I'm like trying to think.
Wolfgar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Ash Lord.
The Ash Lord.
Yep. Romulus? Does Romulus die in Iron Gold or Dark?
He does die in.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, that's got to be its own episode, just because
100%.
He's so badass. So like 3 in Iron Gold too, because like all the people Cassius fights like would be just like a single episode of all of them.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it a lot. Is Seraphina gonna get her own episode?
Probably not. Sorry, Seraphina.
No, she sucks.
He does not echo.
No.
I hate her.
Immediately forget. Even
I laughed.
Like, I had a sister.
Even Lysander forgets.
I literally did not laugh. I laughed one time reading Dark Age, and it was when that happened. I literally went, whoa!
I think it happened so fast for me that I like didn't understand until like 2 chapters later. I was like, wait, hold on. I knew, like, what? Go back.
Her guts are hanging out. I was like, sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Is this the glorious battle? And she's just in a mech suit. Yeah, I was like, is this the glorious battle that you were envisioning, you stupid cunt?
Yeah. She's a hat death, correct? I believe she's a hat death, so it makes sense of.
Oh, is she?
I'm 90% sure. that she was a hat death.
I would trust
It
you
would
on
make
this sort
sense.
of information.
I'm
Yeah.
weird.
Mhm.
If Pierce has said it, I don't know what happens in the books, but if Pierce has said it in an interview, that's what I remember. The books,
LOL.
I'm like, what's canon? What isn't?
I don't know.
Did
You
Pierce
you
say
did
it?
fine in the Bean Boozled episode.
That's true. I did. All right. Well,
Those were all
thank
true and
you.
false.
Yeah. Everybody, thanks for listening. Come back next week as we're with Mod. Thank you so much, Cassie / Sharkbate from Highkey Obsessed. So look up both Shark. You're just
Go watch
Sharkbate
that.
Sharkbate's bookshelf.
bookshelf. I was gonna say reads. On Instagram, and then Highkey Obsessed as well, which is not Red Rising, but you guys love Red Rising. Your
We
nonfiction
do.
that you talk everything.
We
So
do.
you're always, I think of you guys. I always think of all of us podcasts because we all get along as like a giant family, and it's all the siblings, and then
Yeah.
you guys are like the academic cousin that shows up, and we're like, we don't quite know why you come to the like, but we were here for it, and we're never gonna like, you're everybody's favorite academic cousin that we're like, okay,
Thank you so much. This season we're not being particularly academic, I will say. We're just like vibing. Our last episode was all the favorite things from the previous year. The episode before that, I think, was Hermione fan fiction. So like, let's maybe not give us too much credit about being cerebral.
That's
like,
school. Come on, like it's school.
Yeah,
that's fair. Thank you so much for asking me to talk about this. Like I said, I like EO. I think she deserves more than she gets from the fandom a lot of the time. So very happy to have joined, and I can't wait to hear the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
so exciting. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you want to come back for a
Yeah,
different
thank you
guest,
very
let
much
us
for
know.
coming.
We'll slot you in.
Yeah, if you want to come
Anytime.
back for Serafina, share that multi-episode with her.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk shit about her the whole time. All right.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good one. Bye.